So, all right. So, you guys are young. Do you have any big homies that took you under the wing? Because now I heard your story. You went half with a girl. She wasn't in no way. Then you chopped it up. You went to a location. They shut it down. Where do we go from there? When like, do you have any big homies that gave y'all any packs or
Nah,
put y'all
man.
down, or y'all just
I like that. I mean, a big homie came along afterwards.
okay?
After they shut down the spot, we went running around in the neighborhood, selling crack. We young, you know, older dudes. They not really trying to let us in, but that's not a problem. We getting in. We're not trying to hear that. You got to kill us. Fuck that. The older dudes was talking shit like, yo, these little kids think they grown ass men. They just knew that we was kind of like a problem. I ain't know that then. In retrospect, I figured. So they was like just trying to build support among them. Like, yo, these kids is bugging. Maque Tumba heard it. They used to look up to him. He was their peers. And he thought they was telling him like a complaint. And that shit just kind of like, like, hold on. These little niggas remind me of me. I want to holler at them. And that became the big homie. Yeah. Just because of admiration and all that. Not because we really like, it was like we just was feeling his swag, his style, the way he treated us. Okay. With the respect. It wasn't just like, oh shit, he got a big chain in the car. Oh, yo, fuck that. We ain't give a fuck about that.
I did hear his name in the Info Minds interview. So once again, salute to them. Who was Maque Tumba? Who was he? What was his race, ethnicity? Was he black?
Dominican, originally from 109th Street, and he was a large dope dealer from the Lower East Side.
Wow.
Had like a large scale operation. They used to have $1 million parties from selling heroin back then. The mecca for heroin in New York City at the time was the Lower East Side, historically, and so dudes had $1 million parties, Maserati parties since then, 70s into the 80s. Big people. So he was a member of that crowd, but he lived where we from, and so that's how he heard what was going on, and like he told you, that's how he reached out to us. What they were trying to do only intrigued him, and so he wanted to hear who these little kids that everybody's talking about, and then that's how we started messing with him. But that apprenticeship ended quickly because he was murdered about 10 months, a year later, right?
Like a year change. Like a year and a couple of months.
So
I don't want to live this out. Excuse me, cut you off. Another thing that made him stand out in the Lower East Side, because everybody was getting money. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of people getting money. It was the fact that he was Dominican and a Puerto Rican predominantly neighborhood business. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So him being Dominican, that stood out at that time. Like now you got a lot of Dominicans in the Lower East Side running around, but at that time he was like the only one, if not the only one. Whoever else was down there was because he brought him from the Upper West Side.
Sorry to do that. And he got murdered around that area, in the area you from, or he got murdered somewhere?
Right in front of his building.
Yeah, he got murdered uptown, not in the Lower East Side. He got murdered uptown in front of his building. His mom was coming around the corner when that shit happened. I heard it through the window. I was talking to him on the phone. I was waiting for my shorty to bring me a order of food. She went to buy some food. I'm talking to the phone. He telling me, yo, Maque, every time on Sundays he used to buy the whole neighborhood tickets for the movie. 40, 50. Whoever's outside, you want to go to the movie, we're going to get the last show. So it was Sunday. He was about to do that. He spoke to him. He calling me. I heard, but the shit sounded too rapid. So I wasn't hearing no rapid shit like that in the hood. I'm like, yo, that shit sound crazy. It looked like they sound some oldie shit. I only used to hear that shit on TV. Rapid, though. I'm talking about fully automatic. You really don't hear. You hear it semi-automatic, but. So he was like, word, look out the window. I'm like, for what? He like, because that could have been Maque. So I'm like, I don't hear nobody screaming. He's like, yo, my nigga, look out the window. So I looked out the window and I saw Maque and Cojo laid out. And that's like that.
Two people died.
Yeah, him and Cojo died.
Okay.
They first got shot up together. They got killed together.
They got shot up about a month and a half before that in a drive-by where two people were killed and they were the two survivors. They were hit, it was AK-47, shooting into a car, going into one guy, coming out the other guy. Yeah. So they have broken bones. And so what he told you about when they got killed, they still had stitches in them from the operations and the surgeries and the fucking all kind of skin grafts that they had to do when they were killed.
Wow.
That was a heavy war though.
Yeah.
That war was way worse than what we were involved in.
What was that war called? Are you allowed to
No,
talk
it
about?
wasn't. Not that it was cold, but it was the heroin. It was over heroin, and it was in a time where, in the '80s, and in the '80s, you could have 4 murders and still be chilling on the block. You know, in the '80s, you could have 4 murders and get 6 to 12 and get work release. You know, so it was a time where, if you're criminal minded and you empowered with that information back then, because, you were doing a lot of stuff, man. You were probably getting away with a lot of stuff. Because of the laws and the different things that were. Think about how different New York City would be right now if there weren't cameras every 2 steps you take.
That's
Just
true.
that one thing is stopping a whole lot of things from happening.
The old ladies didn't call the cops.
They didn't call the cops back in the days?
No, they just called her friend and tell her who got killed.
Oh, yeah?
Like, yo, you got such and such son got killed. Told you he wasn't gonna make it through the summer. That type of shit.
Real quick, did Maque Tumba, did he look out for you guys? Did y'all really rock with him? Like, he took care of you, he held you guys down?
Oh, yeah,
Was he
that's
one
a
of those people
fact.
that like, he looked out for us?
No, that's a fact. Like, he used to call us his son, and I didn't take no offense to that. I was proud of that. Like, he took us he heard about it. He said, hold on. At the beginning, it was, he had selfish interests, you understand, to an extent. Well, trying to come up, drug dealer. We hustling, put him under the wing. So now he wanted us to open up a dope spot up there. In retrospect, I come to the conclusion that he was already knowing that it was heavy down there in the Lower East Side, because that war was going on for years. But we was, young. He never involved us with that shit. So he was already trying to get different locations, you understand, to generate money or whatever. That's what I come up with now looking back. So he wanted us to open up a block, and we did. But dope was different. So after we sold like 40 bundles at, 13 going 14 and shit like that, we making $600 each at that day. You count that by 5, 3 G's. We don't need no more than this. But he looking at it like, yo, y'all got to stay there the whole hours, bro. Like, he trying to do numbers. So then he ain't found like no real interest in that, but he already had love for us, so he put it under the wing. So he like, listen, I'm going to give y'all money just to go to school, because he knew my mother. He already took a liking to him, love, So he used to give us $2,000 a week each to go to school. Just go to school, and when you come out, you can hang out with us. And so he'll give us 20 bundles each. We give it to somebody, and we keep the money. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So, and then we'll hang out with him. So whenever he went in the restaurant and ate, we ate. Whenever he went in the sneaker store and bought sneakers, he bought us sneakers. We had access to his cars, access to the cribs and shit like that. And that was it. And we used to just sit down and listen to all his stories. So
It became company, really.
So in his way of thinking, he ain't really was doing as a favor, but in his mind, he was doing the best he can. Like, we didn't know no better, so he looked out for us, and the way he knew and how he could. You know what I'm saying? Probably he shouldn't be talking about all the murders and millions and showing us all those cars and giving us that money that easy. But he thought he was doing us a favor, keeping us out the street and talking that school shit.
Right.
After he got shot up, and I was hanging out with him in the Bronx, in the crib, in what people call trap house now, and somebody had to give him some money, so he told me to go get it, and I felt like, yeah, I'm about to move up. This motherfucker talking to me about go get a bag, And so he told me, "Yo, don't open the bag. Just go get it and bring it back." At the time was the big gray Metro 1 phone with the black antenna. You like you working out when you use the phone, So I went to the place to pick up the money. The guy gave me the money. I got in a cab. I called him. I tell him I'm on the way back. And he told me, "You didn't open the bag?" I was like, "Nope." And he said, "Right, don't open." I was like, "I'm not opening this shit for sure." Hung up, opened the bag, saw a bunch of money in there, took it to him. We counted it. After we finished counting it, he says, "Here, it's $1,000 for you, and here's $1,000 for your friend," which was Tito, So I'm out. I'm like, yeah, I got my first G. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of easy. I just went to go get some money, right? That's how I was thinking at the time, So I decided I'm gonna invest my 1,000 and flip it. So I had a friend, Timmy, and he convinced me this dude had some 38s for sale, $200, and I calculated I could get 400 for them shit. So I gave him the whole G. He came back and said he got robbed. To this day, I don't know if he really got robbed or not. He's still my friend. I know him since the 2nd grade, but I lost my G. I was sad about that shit. I think he told Maque. And so the next day we meet up for our regular lunch at the restaurant, get the dessert going. He pull out his Louis Vuitton bag, and he throws another stack on the table. He says, "Don't buy no guns, bro." And I didn't even say that. I just, yes, him. That shit right in my pocket. But learned the lesson there, you know. That to me, that showed me he cared a little more, you know. Like, he'll give you another shot with your money, bro, you know. Get it together. And you know, although we learned all these things from him, he never was like teaching us nothing even during the war of the Lower East Side. Sometimes we would miss him and we take a cab down there and run into him and he'll get us out of there or have somebody take us out of there, cab or however it was. So you know, he did have love for us. On top of that, I like to say I'm still friends to this day with his brother and his entire family. You know, like if we never skipped a beat, and those are people you know for 30, 35 years. Those are the people you could count on if you still know them, you know. Friends are meant to be used, not abused, I like to say.
That's a good one. Real quick, did y'all have was there, when you guys were under him, did you guys were under a name? Did you guys have a name? Was there a crew name y'all had?
Nah.
No, okay. Got it.
So when did the yellow top crew start come into place?
You know, the police
tape.
named us and the press named us that, you know. People used to say, yeah, you know, hey, Yellow Top Crew, but we would never.
Is it top or tape?
The Yellow Top Crew, YTC.
Mm-hmm.
So
job,
you know,
G. Good job.
people said that and it stuck, but we were never no real gang. We wasn't no gang and
Hey, stop playing. Come on, whoa. Listen, Shane. Come on. I know you trying to be cool. We not trying to promote violence. I heard it.
I know.
Shane,
But
what was the name of the crew, man?
YTC.
What was the name of the crew before YTC? Y'all was just cool?
There was no crew. It was
just you and my man?
It's me, him, and two of his brothers, and my brother, and my brother's brother-in-law. Get it? And cousin.
That's a crew. You know that, right?
Nah, well, I got you. I'm just saying we weren't a gang, brother. It wasn't.
Got you, brother. I got you.
It wasn't. We're gonna meet every Friday, and we got a
I see what
raccoon
you're saying.
hat on. You know what I'm saying?
No
Like we in
handshakes,
the
no
honeymooners, no handshakes,
signals,
none of that shit.
Nah, yeah, ain't
Oh, so it's more like a family then.
Family's the right word.
Got it. So
That's
then,
why you get the big bucks. That's right, family. You figured it out.
no, stop it. So, all right. So then, when did it start getting spooky for you guys? Like, that's what G was like. When did it start turning up for you guys? Because now you guys, you're getting money. You know, you're selling crack. You're getting money. You know what I mean? When did it start really pumping for you guys?
When the cops started coming around.
Well, the cops started coming around. What you know, like, cause we like and flip the script. We like steps. You know, you like to paraphrase a lot. You know, and it's past your bedtime, like you said earlier. You know something.
You know, we got violent for us very quickly. You know,
Answer straight. Like.
it got violent for us very quickly. So that's for me. I don't know. You know, we. You know, you could look at the same thing and see two different things. So for me, that's my answer. When it got violent, everything changed after that.
But why did it get violent? Was it people in the neighborhood that disliked y'all? Was it another?
When you say when it got spooky, like when we started be like, oh, we kind of into deep shit and all that.
Into deep, you have to play with them things. Yeah, like that's talking about spooky. Because you guys getting money. Was it people in the neighborhood? You know, was it ex-friends? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, was it, like, when did it start to get a little violent?
I mean, it got violent quick, but I wouldn't say it got spooky at that time. I ain't trying to sound cool, none of that shit, but for me, it got spooky when I got shot. That's when I said, oh, shit, whoa, they hitting back right now. Because we had we was just hitting first. We catch wind. I know you put in work. You talking about you going to do something to me. Like the young boys say now, you made me panic. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So I'm moving on that quick. So we had a long stretch where every time we heard somebody was plotting or whatever, we was moving quick on that. You understand what I'm saying? And then, you know, like I say today, ain't nobody from the family, like you know, nobody from the team, nobody got killed. Everybody, they mom should be thanking us at the end of the day right now. You understand what I'm saying? Because you got to pick the lesser evil of two, right? If your kid hit the street, now you just praying that nothing happened to him, right? That he get killed. And my grandmother always said, I'd rather take you commissary money than flowers. You already in the street. I don't want you to do none of that, but so none of our guys ever got murdered on the street.
Basically, judged by 12, then carried by 6.
Yeah,
Right.
in other words.
Got you. So
When I got shot, it got spooky for me.
So when you got, what age you got shot?
I got shot like probably 2 months, like 19.
19. What happened? To bring us to that day.
Basically, in a nutshell, a dude put a hit out on us. They tried to get him first. They shot at him. He played dead. I'm thinking it was some random shit that happened or whatever. I'm not really putting, you know what I mean, putting too much emphasis on what happened. He like, yo, the dudes came through. So I'm like, all right, like, you know, that's what happens. You know, they didn't come often on our block, but hey, I thought about it like it was some dudes walking through the neighborhood randomly. Let's say y'all walking through the neighborhood, y'all not from there. Y'all somebody make y'all panic, you got the ratchet, you let it go. That's how I look. I ain't think it was a target situation. So one day I'm on the block and I'm talking. I'm actually being kind of spiteful because I'm giving my man's girl some money every week, but she used to always talk about, oh, it's $20, $40 short. We give her $500 a week just so she could take care of herself. I don't got nothing to do with it because he was locked up. He ain't had no. So that's $500 just for her to take care of herself, besides us paying for commissary and lawyers and everything else. But the bitch used to be like, oh, they gave me $460 and I need $20 for the cab. So I was like, you know what? You playing games. But still my man girl, that's the one he chose. So well, we gonna go with it. Give this bitch $500 singles. My nigga like $500 and so she could count them shit dead. But doing that spiteful shit, instead of going to BBQ, because the chick just pulled up like, yo, let's go to BBQ. I'm like, nah, chill. Go get that $500 in a single. Niggas was walking up. I just felt the vibe. I told my little man, yo, go get the gun. Why? Some dude's looking funny. So he like, let's go in the building. So when I'm walking in the building, I'm looking at it like they gonna shoot the block up. I'm not thinking I'm the target. So I'm gonna feel like a sucker, like I left everybody outside. As soon as I turned around, the dude thought that I had the gun. But my man said I put it up because police kept running around. He just started shooting. That's when I got shot up. Police was coming up the block, told him free. He shot it out with police. And that was it. Giuliani ain't even come check me. He just went and checked the police. That nigga ain't even give a fuck about me.
Did the person that shot he shot the police?
He shot the police. Me and the police was in the same hospital.
Did he die?
Nah, he got shot in the hand. But he still took him to the hospital. You know they're going to make it look crazy. He got shot.
What about the guy that did the shooting?
He got caught.
Oh. So.
That's crazy.
So you played dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart.
Thank you. I have my moments.
Yeah, get out of here. So you played dead, and then this is my man right here, though, man. You just was on some singles. You see, spiteful. You see, being spiteful. Count the singles, 500 singles. That's a
quick
lot.
karma that came back around. Quick karma.
I know.
But what I'm confused about is that what makes people put a hit out on people? Like, where did that come from? Was it just hate? Did you fuck one of their girls? Like, what was that from?
I mean, that's that particular situation and about that. I got a little bit of all that, you know what I mean? Whether your girl like me or some shit like that. But that particular situation was a dude that just wanted to open up the block, you understand? And ironically, this was a dude that took a chance on us a few years before with giving us a brick on consignment when I was like 14. He was like 16, you dig? So then we did something for them because they was being extorted and all of that. So we basically took care of that problem for them. So then he went to jail for being dumb and trying to he posted on the gram and the gram wasn't even up at that time, you hear me? So he went to jail, you dig?
Chill out, T, man. Chill out.
I'm telling you the truth, though.
Chill out. Both of y'all gotta chill, bro. I don't know.
That was it, though. Now, I mean, I say that because what happened was he was supposed to be the backup gun. They already did what they had to do to the dude. Now, what happens when you shoot a gun and you're around? You're going to duck. You're not gonna, and then when you stop hearing the gunshots, you're going to get up. So people heard the gunshots. They duck. When they stopped hearing the gunshot, they got up, and he walking up and shoot the nigga 2 times. And then drop his beeper and go back for his beeper. And he lives around the corner from the fucking where we did this shit. So
Yeah.
So he still ain't do no time for that at this point. He got locked up. They went through the, whatever. He came back home. So what happened was when he was giving us the brick, he was overcharging us, but we was still doubling our money, so we didn't really give a fuck, and we was moving that shit super fast. You understand what I'm saying? So, and we was young, so when he came home, we knew the prices. So now he thinking we going back to business. So we go back to business, but you gotta, these are the prices, nigga. Like you gotta either match this or beat this. He couldn't really do it. You understand? It wasn't beneficial for him, and we kept pushing, and I guess he held that gripe. So then he came up with a plan of wanting to put dope on our block. So we was like, nah, I don't think that. Even though we wasn't selling dope, we was like, nah, because...
He wanted to pay too, but...
Yeah. But the whole thing is that you're going to sit there, study us, and come up with a plan and get our head knocked off because he was that type of dude, and then stay with the whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
So that we was like, nah, we don't really want you that close. And he thought he had the bright idea of putting out the hit. That's how that hit came out.
But once he was told no, he did open up anyway on a few other blocks, and that was a no too. So after that, he's like, that's when he started plotting.
Yeah, what happened was he started fucking with crack, and he was giving his mans, his little soldiers that was busting guns, like he ain't fuck with the cracks, but he was like, y'all open up the crack. You got your own crack spot, so you got this dude under the gauge. Now you got your own spot. You run with me. Plus he's a shooter, but we was like, nah, you can't sell crack here. Like, So we did a few of that. We used to do walkthroughs through the neighborhood, like, who the fuck you working for? Take your pack, whatever. Shut this shit down. Tell them to come see me. That type of shit. So now he like, damn, these niggas ain't even let me sell crack or none of that shit. I guess, you know what I mean? But
How many blocks did you guys have on lock?
I really don't know. Because
Remember, it's a family. Remember, it's your brother-in-law.
No, I know, but
brothers.
I'm
Your
saying,
brother. Remember? I remember.
I know, but I'm saying, somebody asked me that earlier today, and if you, we had 95th Street, and we were on 110th Street, 107th Street. We didn't let nobody sell between certain blocks. We were in Nyack, so
Nyack, New York.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so at the time, that was a big place to be when you have so much of what's missing over there, again, and being young. We put 300 cracks in a bag of barbecue potato chips and get on that bus.
Let me ask you guys a question. Because they say Dominicans or Spanish people, are the connects. So you guys had a connect, you guys became the connect. That's a very serious question.
Yeah. It is impossible to do what we were doing without a connect. Yes, that person never did no time though.
Respect.
And as far as becoming a connect, he did. I didn't move into that weight thing. I used to get a lot of weight and break it all down. But
correct.
he did expand into doing that. I used to like the breakdown better than to be selling weight.
And you know how to cook?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
let me take my jacket off real quick.
I used to I was a very good cook.
Very good.
Yeah.
Who taught you how to cook? Who taught you how to cook, Chango?
A head on the street.
Or
Yeah. I used to have Walter White status cooking. That's right.
That's right.
he ain't the smooth guy. He's a smooth guy.
Yeah, I was doing that, but it became after a while when I'm sure it don't matter what you're doing, and you could be super successful, but it could become a burden too. You could get tired of counting every week singles and 100,000 singles and another 100, and what do I do with them, and who do I pay with them, and let me give extra 100 or 200 to this one so we could squash that debt. So it becomes more. I gotta go cook more. I'm over here. I gotta go back to cook what? It becomes. It became a monster that we couldn't keep up with.
Was your mom aware what was going on at this time, or she didn't?
I don't think so. And she, when I've tried to talk to my mother a lot when I was getting trailer visits upstate, but she always stops me when she thinks I'm going in that direction. 'Cause I don't think she really just wants to hear it. So she just blocks that out.
Now, when did you got locked up? Did you get locked up?
Yeah.
Okay, who got locked up first? Cause you guys'
We
stories.
got locked up a bunch of times.
One and the same, both interesting.
Yeah.
So
that's why we both here.
Yeah.
Bonus
Well,
right here. Bonus. He's a big bonus right here. He's a big bonus.
I can tell. Yeah. This is my man, Heavy. So when you got locked up to do the big time, like what did you do to get locked up? What were you accused of?
Well, I got arrested for that guy that he was just talking to you about, for his attempted murder. I got arrested for that. And what happened. Listen, my brother, you know what happened? I could put it like this to you.
Check it, what happened, bro?
He made a move on us. 2 days later, we made a move on him. He was shot 9 times, neck, chest, scrotum, a bunch of places, right? And 2 days later, and the shooter got caught on the scene, and I got out of the scene. 2 of us is walking this way, and 300 people running this way to see what happened. So that was a little telltale sign. So, but I got arrested 2 days later. So as far as this case, I got arrested 2 days after that shooting, and everybody else got arrested more or less a month later. They wrapped up the case early because the violence was escalating. When that guy got shot those 9 times, 3 days before that is when 2 separate shootings occurred, also related to Yellow Top, which were the attempts on our lives. And in that same month, a cop got shot, as he described to you. So now on that day when he got shot and the cop came around the corner and I got by him and the shooter stood over there, the person that was escorting me in and out of the scene bust off also, and the cop called in a 1013, which is officer down, officer in distress, and that created every possible police officer that's on the scene or around the area to come to react to that shooting. So by now, you got 2 police shootings on Yellow Top, attempted murder of this dude, attempted murder of him, attempted murder of me. This is all back to back. It was heating up so much that they just wrapped everything up quick.
You got shot?
No, I played dead.
You played dead, so you shot.
I've done that 3 times, yeah.
I tried to do that shit when I got shot. My body wasn't trying to hit that shit. That shit made me run.
So he got hit in the head. He got the bullet slowed down with the door, but he got hit in the head.
Yeah, that shit went through here, and it got stuck right here.
Oh my God. What? So that same guy that caused that ended up getting hit 2 days later, 9 times.
Yeah, I flew somebody in from Puerto Rico.
Say it again.
Flew someone in from Puerto Rico. Being that the dude grew up with us and he knew us, so we couldn't just approach him. He wasn't gonna let us just approach him. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So he knew that we was coming. Once he realized, the dude put the hit out. I didn't know where the fuck that shit came from. I thought it was, we've been putting in work for years. We don't know who finally, took the initiative to come at us. So while I'm in the hospital, I'm good. I could have left the same night, but they keep you observation for a day, and they got this shit through my penis, a tube. So I'm scared to take that shit out, but I want to take it out because I know homicide's coming in the morning. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So I'm trying to get the fuck out the hospital because I'm good. I don't want to deal with homicide. Sure enough, homicide was right there. Bing. Because every time I'm like, man, I fuck around, pull out. I thought I was going to pull out an intestine and all that shit with my. So I was like, all right, cool, leave that. Boom, homicide came right there immediately, took the tube out. Oh, yeah, we want to just talk to you, Tito. We knew already. We've been through this fucking process on a regular. They take us to the precinct. By the time we get there, the lawyer called. They already know they can't talk. I could tell them niggas I did it, but my lawyer already told you can't talk to me. So everything here is no good. So they knew that, but they'll take it. So this particular time, they did some grimy shit. They took me to the precinct. They made me sit in a room. When I sat in a room, they had one of them shits, like the white walls like that, and they had the whole detail of the hit. Such and such, pay such and such, because the kid that shot the cop, he gave everybody up. So they had the whole shit on the board, like he paid this, like whole little pyramid. So I'm saying to myself, oh shit, this nigga put the hit out. And I knew it was true because we had like a cold war. It wasn't, I just smoked a blunt with the dude like the day before. You understand what I'm saying? On the block, chilling, talking, like, yo, you should come out the floor over there. Like, yeah. It was that type of situation. But we knew that, but we was playing roles. So, thinking about it, you almost went out like Maque like that because that's what the same shit Maque was doing. But,
yeah.
So I was like, oh shit. So when I came out the hospital, boom, I told him, yo, son, look, this nigga did that shit. We like, where? So we was trying to figure out how we gonna get closer, and we flew a kid in from Puerto Rico. And then I had a car. I had just bought a Beam on it, but I bought it crashed at the time. It was that type. So I had to go get it inspected and shit after I fixed it up. So I was in Terrytown when I came back. They was like, yo, you heard about it? I'm like, heard about what? We got that nigga. So one of the young boys from the block was telling me, I'm like, word? And he told me they already had did that movie and shit. But that's how that went.
2 days later, you get locked up. Somebody told?
Everybody, somebody. Of course, there's old ladies in the window sometimes.
So you locked up and then you go to trial, I'm presuming. Or you
We
just
go to
got caught?
trial. I just had that attempted murder case, but they knew what they were doing, so they put me in a part where only high profile cases are, under a judge that gives no bail. And so they already knew that they were gonna add a superseding indictment. They want to make sure you're in that court part so that you're facing maximum penalty. And that task force and judge were responsible for Wild Cowboys, the Jerry Curl Gang, the Purple City, Purple
Shower
Top,
Posse.
Shower Posse. So they had their numbers in, but they have the same judge with them, and so they was cleaning up shop.
And real quick, because you guys, you guys are very smooth when you talk. When you guys found out, how much stuff did they have when you guys?
Everything.
Drugs.
Drugs, murder, weapons, everything. I think there was 10 homicides on the indictment, and every kind of drug crime that you could think about.
Do you remember how many of you guys got indicted?
40, they say 48, but it was 41 on our indictment. And then probably like 7 other dudes like the Hicks that was from the hood. And they just made it in the newspaper saying
Yeah,
48.
because they in a picture or happen to be saying what's up to you in the surveillance. Nah, it's whatever they say.
And the media named y'all Yellow Top Crew.
Yeah,
You guys didn't name yourself that.
no.
Yellow Top Crew. The media named you guys that. All right, so you go to the trial. What happened?
No, we ain't going to. Some people pleaded guilty.
What did you do?
I pleaded guilty. 15 in life.
You had 15 to life.
12 to 36.
12 to 36.